hello everyone. So today we are going to see the last part of the coordination compound, that is importance of coordination compound, and here there are certain importance which are important for your MCQ point of view or fill in the blanks point of view. There are many other importance which you can read from your textbook. So this much some MCQ can come. There are other importance also. There is no space, so I have not written it. Okay. So today here your coordination compound chapter is getting over. After this I am going to start a general principle of isolation of elements. So I have two lectures which I have taken in the before 2 to 3 months or 6 months. I have taken two lectures. So that lectures also I will join along with this today's lecture. That lecture also I will join along with this lecture. So soon after completion of this lecture, the general principle lecture also will start. So please see to it so that it should be a quick revision for you, and then I will start from the next class I will start the chapter from where I have left. Clear this part? So see here now. So the importance of coordination compound, first is coordination compound is used in a many qualitative and quantitative analysis. Means like what we are doing in the laboratory, like we are doing the redox titration. So that kind of analysis means we are determining the presence of cation, we are seeing the presence of anion. So in that type of a test in laboratory, that type of a test we call as a qualitative and quantitative analysis. So in that type of analysis coordination compound are used. Number of coordination compounds of copper, then like magnesium, then we have platinum. So number of coordination compounds are used in the qualitative and quantitative analysis. Next, if in a compound there is a presence of EDTA, so if there is in a compound presence of EDTA or DMG or many other ligands, so to know or to detect the presence of ligand we can use some test. In that test also coordination compounds are used. It is used in the detection of compounds like EDTA and DMG. Next, hardness of water also can be removed by using the coordination compound, like by titrating with Na2 EDTA, and you know the hardness is present due to the Ca plus 2 and Mg plus 2. So this Ca plus 2 and Mg plus 2 makes a complex with EDTA, and in this way hardness is removed. Second thing, in a leaching process, especially when I am going after this chapter we are going to see that only. Then in a coordination compound we have one type of a process known as a leaching process. So in that leaching process especially is for gold and silver. So what we are making, first we are taking the gold, impure gold and impure silver, we are going to take bit impurity from their ores and minerals, and then we are making their complex, and then that complex is broken and again they have purified. So gold combines with cyanide and forming a arum cyanide, this complex compound in the aqueous solution, and further it is removed. You write down this point, because this is very important. It will also help. Write down. By electroplating with silver, this point you write down please. By electroplating with silver and gold, attractive replicas are prepared. Means duplicates. You are seeing at the roadside they are selling gold chain. It is not a gold chain, but it appear like a gold. Yes or no? So duplicate, khotu bagasranu sonu એવું કઈ કહે ગુજરાતીમાં. So that type of a gold actually is this kind of things. Okay, so write down. So by electroplating with silver and gold, attractive replicas are prepared. These replicas are made from the complexes AgCN2 minus and AuCN2 minus. Either you can make a replica of gold or you can make a replica of silver. So if it is a silver, so AgCN2 minus can be prepared from simple metal ion solution. Clear this part? So this is very important. Okay. Next, it is also done. See, we can also purify certain metal. What we will do, you will understand in the general principle, and not general principle. We have seen this kind of things, no? In I guess P block or S block, nickel tetracarbonyl. First we are converting impure nickel in nickel tetracarbonyl. Then again we are taking that nickel tetracarbonyl and we are breaking Mons carbonyl process. Somewhere I have done this Mons carbonyl process. If no, next chapter might contain, but previously somewhere I have done, I don't know, but it will come in general principle process, that is Mons, MONDS. Mons carbonyl process. The Mons carbonyl process says what, you take a metal, certain metal, that certain metals are impure. So that certain metals which are impure, first they are converted into their complex compound like carbonyls, and that carbonyls again they are decomposed. When the carbonyls get decomposed, again you will get nickel and carbon monoxide. But now nickel after decomposition you will get pure. So this way one process is there which called as a Mons carbonyl process. So purification of metal can be achieved by first making complex and then decomposing it. So first you are making their complex, like for example I told you the nickel. So first what you will do, we will take the nickel, and this nickel is impure, we are converting into carbonyls, so reacting with carbon monoxide, so nickel tetracarbonyl, one complex will be formed. Again this is get decomposed, when this get decomposed it will form nickel plus carbon monoxide. So this nickel will be now pure. Okay. So in this way purification of metals are achieved. Clear? Next, this is very important point, Wilkinson catalyst. This is also one kind of a complex compound of rhodium. Please remember, this is very important. Wilkinson catalyst. This is a catalyst of a metal rhodium Rs. The formula is PH. This PH means phenyl ring. So there are 3 phenyl ring with phosphorus. Okay, so please remember this, that PH3P thrice. No one will ask the structure, just they will ask you the formula. This molecular formula is very important for Wilkinson catalyst. The formula, the catalyst name is Wilkinson catalyst. So write down. See, this is a Wilkinson catalyst. It's a catalyst of a metal known as a rhodium. So PH3P thrice RHCl used for hydrogenation of alkenes. So this 6th point is very important. Write down, please, along with me, write down. First remember the formula, PH thrice P whole thrice. PH thrice P whole thrice RHCl, a simple formula. Okay, so this is one type of a catalyst which is known as a Wilkinson catalyst, and this is the complex compound which is used in what? Hydrogenation of alkenes. Write down. Coordination compounds are used. Coordination compounds are used. Coordination compounds are used to make a number of ligands. Example, a number of ligands used in industrial reaction. Coordination compounds are used to make number of ligands used in industrial reactions. Used in industrial reaction. Example, a rhodium complex known as Wilkinson catalyst. A rhodium complex known as a Wilkinson catalyst. A rhodium complex known as a Wilkinson catalyst. A rhodium complex known as a Wilkinson catalyst. This is the formula, please remember, Wilkinson catalyst is used for the hydrogenation of alkenes. This is very important point, Wilkinson catalyst. Okay, so this is used in the hydrogenation of alkenes. You know, hydrogenation of alkene, this is alkene. When you do the hydrogenation, you get hydrogen and convert into alkane. It is used in the black and white photography. Developed first was by hyposolution, which dissolve and decompose in AgBr to form this complex. Okay, so this is also one kind of a complex. So this also you write down. Film is stabilized. Film, black and white film is stabilized by washing with hyposolution, hypophosphate, like hypochlorite solution, hypo kind of solution. Okay, hyposolution, which is soluble in AgBr, and forms a complex. So sir, how to remember this? This just you remember this. This is the ion obtained during the black and white photography. If you remember this much, MCQ will be cleared. AgH2O3 twice 3 minus. If you remember this much, it's enough. Not this sentence if you don't remember also, but this formula is important. That what is this formula says? That the complex ion formed during the photography of black and white. So this is AgH2O3 twice 3 minus. This is the complex formed during the photography. Next, 8th point is very important. See, sometimes what happen, see, there are certain metals which are toxic in nature, which will develop the toxicity in the body. Suppose that metal or that, in our body it contains iron, the body contains copper, yes or no? The body contains iron, yes or no? Copper. So certain metals are present in our body also. That metal part, if it increase by through some food or through something, if the metal parts in our body increase, metal means their ions. So if that ions, metallic ions in our body increase, so we may fall ill and we may also go to the death. So that kind of a poisoning occur. So what will happen, that time complex compounds are used. What will coordination compounds are used. What will happen, that coordination compounds through the tablets are given to your body. So it enters into your body, and your increased portion metal ion, they will combine with that, forms an complex and will be washed out from your body. So see, excess, to remove the toxicity caused by metal, in plant and animal. So what happen, excess copper and iron are removed by chelating ligand. Example, this is very important, D-penicillamine and desferrioxime. D-penicillamine and desferrioxime. D-penicillamine and desferrioxime B is used in to remove the excess copper and Fe if it is caused in your body. So see, this tablet names are important to remember. First is what, D-penicillamine and desferrioxime B. These are the two chemicals which are used to remove the excess copper and iron caused in the plant body or plant cell or animal cell. Clear? So which are the tablet name, PD penicillamine and desferrioxime B. So these are the two tablets, that is D-penicillamine and desferrioxime B are the two tablets which are used to remove the excess copper and iron from the body. Next, if a body is caused due to lead, lead is an toxic in nature, so if anyone is consuming the lead, it will get poisoning. So EDTA is used in the lead poisoning. This is also very important. So EDTA is used in what? So EDTA is used as a lead poisoning. Second, coordination compound of platinum. Coordination of compounds of platinum, the best example is cisplatin, and somewhere I have told in the lecture also. So coordination compound of platinum, the best example is cisplatin. That cisplatin is used to, that cisplatin is the name of a tablet or medicine, or it's a one kind of a coordination compound of platinum which is used to treat or inhibit the growth of tumors and cancers in your body. So the coordination compound like cisplatin and related compounds of the platinum inhibit matlab roke che, inhibit the growth of tumors and cancers in your body. So these are the certain application of coordination compound. Please write down it. See, there are many other shortcut trick related to these questions. First shortcut trick is, in our blood there is a presence of hemoglobin. So in hemoglobin there is a iron which is of which state, Fe+2. So in hemoglobin iron is of Fe+2 state. These are the tricks to remember things. Okay, this is a trick. From this number of questions can come in the competition exam. Just mug it up. So hemoglobin means what? Fe+2. In hemoglobin Fe+2 is present. This Fe+2 is high spin complex. Please remember this. That is, hemoglobin is a high spin complex. Unpaired electron are 4 and sp3d2. And if sp3d2 which shape? So octahedral shape will be the shape will be octahedral. So hemoglobin is having which shape? Octahedral shape. Clear this part? Similarly, if oxyhemoglobin, now if oxygen associated with this hemoglobin, now here see beta, oxyhemoglobin means here oxidation doesn't occur, just oxygen come and attach to the hemoglobin. So that type of hemoglobin we say as a oxyhemoglobin. In oxyhemoglobin also Fe+2 is present. See here oxidation doesn't occur. If oxidation would have occurred, so your oxidation number of Fe would have changed. So your oxidation doesn't occur, so just oxygen attached to the hemoglobin, so that we call as a oxyhemoglobin. Its oxidation number is also, there is also presence of Fe+2 in oxyhemoglobin, but there is a low spin complex because of associated with oxygen. Please remember this. So now unpaired electron will be 0 and the square and the structure will be and the hybridization will be D2sp3. Clear this part? Octahedral shape. In chlorophyll there is a presence of Mg+2 and its hybridization is dsp2, and dsp2 means square planar and unpaired electrons are 0. So in chlorophyll, so chlorophyll is a one kind of a complex of Mg plus magnesium. Magnesium there is present is Mg+2. The hybridization is dsp2. dsp2 shape will be square planar and unpaired electron will be 0. Vitamin B12 is also known as a cyanocobalamin. Vitamin B12 is also known as a cyanocobalamin. Vitamin B12 is also known as a cyanocobalamin. In that, cobalt is present in CO plus ion, and the hybridization is dsp2. So the square will be square planar. Clear this part? This all are the some book I have taken this important question, so that if you remember this, it will be easy for you. One gravimetric analysis. This gravimetric analysis is an analysis of an ions, metallic ions. It will come in the future classes, but somewhere question I have seen, so I am attending this. that in gravimetric analysis, if we are doing the gravimetric analysis for Cu+2, we call as a cupron. For nickel plus 2, DMG is used. So in gravimetric analysis, for Cu+2, cupron is used, Ni+2 is DMG is used, and for cobalt plus, we are using alpha nitroso beta naphthol. Please remember, these all names are important. In gravimetric analysis, for Cu+2, we are using cupron, Ni+2 we are using DMG, CO plus we are using alpha nitroso beta naphthol, after alpha nitroso beta naphthol, and for Fe+3 we are using 110 phenyltholene. Okay, these are certain chemicals name you should remember. See, but in gravimetric analysis we are using for Cu+2 we are using cupron, for Ni+2 we are using DMG, for CO plus, that is cobalt plus ion, we are using alpha nitroso beta naphthol, for Fe+3 we are using 110 phenyltholene. In detection of radical Cu+2, suppose we are doing the reduction of copper ion. So now in radical Cu+2 we are reacting with potassium, ferrocyanide. So when you react the Cu+2 with potassium ferrocyanide, we will obtain copper ferrocyanide, which is a chocolatey brown PPT, which is a chocolatey color brown PPT. So in detection of radical, what we are doing, we are taking this copper, we are reacting with the complex compound, that is potassium ferrocyanide. This copper react with potassium ferrocyanide and convert into copper ferrocyanide, and that copper ferrocyanide will form chocolatey brown PPT. For Fe+3 also we are reacting with potassium ferrocyanide, and it will form a one compound known as a ferrocyanide. First you should say ferry, then you should say ferrocyanide. This is the formula, Fe4 FeCN6. Now number of time questions they are asking what is the oxidation number of Fe, which is out the coordination sphere, and what is the oxidation number of Fe, which is inside the coordination sphere. So outside the coordination number sphere, the oxidation number of Fe is +3, and inside the coordination sphere the oxidation number of Fe is +2. So how to remember, and this color is be Persian blue. Ferry ferrocyanide color will be Persian blue. So how to remember? Remember in this way, one shortcut: ferry ferrocyanide 3+2P, ferry ferrocyanide 3+2P, ferry ferrocyanide 3+2P means ferry ferrocyanide, the formula will be Fe4 FeCN6 thrice. Outside Fe means 3, inside Fe means 2, and this P means Persian blue color. So in this way, this is a certain implications and uses of coordination compound. So here your coordination compound is completely over, nothing is remaining now. If anything remains, please let me know. When you come to the school, some things are required. At that time when you come to the school, something in extra I will do to it, but most of the cases 100% chapter is here over. Thank you.
Hello. So welcome to the standard 12 Dream International School. Myself Varis Namiwala. You know everyone, clear? So today we are starting a easy chapter of standard 12 that is a general principle of isolation of elements. Clear? This chapter it's very easy, and secondly this chapter you have studied in standard 10 also, and ICSE student, you know ICSE syllabus students would have studied detailed in metallurgy, okay, but CBSE student and Gujarat board student also have studied a bit about it. So this chapter is very simple and it's very easy also, but sometime in the competition exam certain questions are coming very tough. Clear? Which type of a questions will come in the future classes I will tell you. So today my chapter you can make a note now. So first I have done the electrochemistry, and now I am starting the general principle of isolation of elements. Clear? In this chapter I will give you the overview. This chapter is based on bit engineering. Clear? Like production engineering. You have to study here to extract certain metals from their ores and minerals. You have to understand the definition, certain process you have to understand, like Hall Herold. You would be listening, no, in standard 10 also. Hall Herold process. I don't know, might you know this. Okay, so Hall Herold process is there. Then you know extraction of iron using the blast furnace. Then we have copper metallurgy. Then we have zinc metallurgy. Then we have gold cyanide leaching methods. This chapter almost is like a theoretical chapter. We don't have any kind of a problem here. Okay, we don't have any kind of a numerical in this chapter. It's a bit theoretical chapter, but very interesting chapter. Yes, especially it's this chapter is giving turn towards an engineering. Okay, it will give you a bit overview of an engineering like of production or civil. Clear? Now, so I am starting the chapter that is a general principle of isolation of process of elements. Clear? See, certain points I have highlighted here, and this point you should understand. In this chapter, the most important topics are definitions. You have to understand the definition, and based on that definition, we will solve the or we will understand the topics. See, first point says what? Metal constitute nearly 80% of all elements. You know our whole periodic table. We have a S block, we have a P block, we have a D block, we have a F block, nearly now 119 or 118 elements, okay, and other elements are to be discovered, like, UUP, UUM, okay. So this whole periodic table, in that whole periodic table, 80% of that elements, elements, okay, so that 80% of elements are nothing but in metals. See, S block completely metal, D block metal, F block metal. In P block certain metals are there, but in P block I told you, P block is they are having a metal also, they have certain non-metal also, they have a inert metal also. Clear? So we have studied P block element 1 and half P block element 2 also, okay. So you know that S block completely metal, or we can say high reactive metal, yes or no? Like we are having a sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Then we have beryllium, magnesium, calcium, these all are alkali metal, alkaline earth metal. Then we have D block metals like a zinc, then we have a Ag, then you have a Au, then you have a PT, then you have copper, then you have a hafnium, then you have a lanthanum. So these all elements comes to the D block, okay, but these all are metals. Similarly, F block metals are also there, and in F block certain elements are there which are made metal, but there are also metals. So in our periodic tables, that's why this point says, first point says what? That metal constitute nearly 80% of all elements. Clear? Next point. See, one metal reactivity series, yes or no? So remember this reactivity series? Please stop calling me a cute zebra. So this is please stop, yes or no? Like I have done, no, please stop calling me a cute zebra. That was the potassium, yes or no? Sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, then cute means a carbon will come, no? Then zinc, iron, tin, lead, hydrogen, then copper, Ag, Au and PT. So this is nothing but what? Your chemical reactivity series. And whenever you move downside the group, reactivity decreases, yes or no? As you know, reactivity decreases. As you move downside the group, reactivity decreases. So if you see the elements which are on the topmost, they are most reactive. And when you move downside the group, so their reactivity decreases. So second point says what? That element which are non-reactive occurs free in state. Clear? So the elements which are very less reactive, like Ag, Au, PT. Yes or no? Ag also bit reactive, but Au and PT are least reactive metals. That's why they occur in a free in state. But the elements or the metals which are highly reactive, like sodium, like potassium, like calcium, like magnesium, like this aluminium, zinc, iron, these all are reactive metal. Means this reactive metal will not occur in the free in state. This reactive metal will not occur in a free in state. They will occur in combined state. They will occur in what? Combined state. Which kind of combined state? Either they will be in oxide form, FeO, see, FeO, then Fe2O3, then zinc oxide, yes or no? Either they will be in a carbonate form, yes or no? Carbonate like zinc carbonate, then iron carbonate, yes or no? Then you can say calcium carbonate, yes or no? The metal which are highly reactive, they cannot occur in a free in state because they are reactive. And when the metals are reactive, they will have affinity. Affinity means what? Attraction either towards oxides. Oxygen means they will form an oxide, or they are occurring in the sulfide form also, yes or no? They will occur in sulfide form also, like sulfide. Like the sulfide means zinc sulfide, yes or no? Then copper pyrite, CuFeS2, then iron pyrites, FeS2. So this all says what? This all says that the element which are least reactive means like Ag, Au, PT, remember this, okay? So elements which are least reactive, they will occur free in state. They will not occur in a combined in state. They will occur free in state. That's why we are wearing gold, no? See, you are wearing gold, you are wearing the gold ring, you are wearing the gold chain, you are washing your hand, you are cooking, okay? Then you are taking bath. So it's not like that after 2-3 months that gold chain which was of 20 gram automatically reduced to 18 gram. It is possible. If you are taking a gold chain, you are wearing in your neck, you are taking bath, you are washing, you are running, whole day you are working, means it will also react with sweat. Means this gold will not react with anyone. Why it will not react with anyone? Because it is least reactive. That's why if you go take a gold chain which is of 20 gram, after 6 years also it will be 20 gram only. Automatically will not get reduced because it is least reactive. So here the second point says what? That the elements which are non-reactive occurs free instead. Means this says that the element which are reactive, here elements means it is prone to telling the metal. The metal which are reactive in nature, the metals which are highly reactive, they will not occur free instead. They will occur in their combined form. Combined state means what? Either in the oxide form or in the carbonate form or in the sulfide form. Mostly these are the forms. Okay, there are many other forms also, but in this chapter we are going to study the oxide form, carbonate form and sulfide form. So the second point says that element which are non-reactive occurs free instead. And I told you the reactivity series. Here elements mean to tell means what? Metal. So metals which are least reactive, they will not occur in a combined form. Instead they will occur in a free state. They will occur free state. Means from the earth crust only we can obtain directly, like gold, you know, AU can be obtained directly from the earth crust, like platinum. So the element which are non-reactive, occurs free instead. But element which are reactive, they will not occur free instead. They will occur in what? They will occur in a combined form. And combined form I told you, no, either they are in oxide form or in their sulfide form. Like oxide form, iron Fe2O3, FeO, ZNO, CuO. Yes or no? These all are oxides form. The oxides, when they combined form, they combine with what? Oxygen, because they are more reactive, and when they are more reactive, they will be having an affinity towards such kind of a non-metal like oxides, sulfides, carbonates. Or they occur in carbide also, like iron carbide Fe3C. Clear? So elements which are non-reactive occur in free state, but the elements which are reactive, they will occur in a combined state. Okay. Next. So now we will move towards the basic core of the chapter, and the chapter first definition comes minerals. The first definition comes mineral, and this mineral is not new for you. Okay. This definition also we have studied in the previous classes, standard 10 also. See, I will discuss these two portions, minerals and ore. What do you mean mineral? See, mineral is nothing but a natural substance which is available from the earth crust. Mineral is nothing but a what? Natural substance which is available from the earth crust during digging or by mining. Is known as a what? Mineral. So what do you mean mineral? Everyone here? The natural substance occurring from the earth crust obtained by mining is called minerals. So minerals is nothing but a what? Minerals is nothing but a, it is a natural, write down the definition. The minerals is nothing but a natural substance occurring from the earth crust. Mineral is a natural substance which is occurring from the earth crust, is known as, during mining or obtained by mining, is known as mineral. Okay, you can see the example here. So example of mineral can be bauxite, yes or no? Then it can be calcite, yes or no? Then you can say iron pyrites, yes or no? These all are example of minerals. Clear? So what is the mineral definition? The natural substance occurring from the earth crust obtained by mining is known as a mineral. You can write down certain examples. You can write down the example. Please write down the example, everyone. So bauxite, calcite, iron pyrites, siderite, calamanite, etc. Clear? Next. Next I come towards the ore. Clear? Now see here, understand this ore, okay? Ore means what? The profitable extraction of metal from mineral is called as ore. Profitable extraction of metal from the mineral is called as a ore. See, understand definition. The profitable extraction of metal from the mineral is called as a ore. What does this mean? See here. See, I have, so for example, I'll take one example of iron. See, check it out, okay? It's not difficult, it's very easy. Please focus here. I will tell the basic difference between mineral and ore. So ore means what? First, what do you mean by mineral? The natural substance occurring from the earth crust obtained by mining is called mineral. Now what do you mean by ore? Ore means what? The profitable extraction of metal from mineral is called as ore. Now this definition might be a bit complicated to you, but I will tell the actual meaning. See, if I have suppose I am digging the earth, okay, I am mining the earth and I got two mineral of iron, say mineral A and mineral B. I'm digging the earth, and during the digging or mining I got the iron, I got the mineral. I got what? Mineral of what? Iron. The mineral A and mineral B. Suppose I'm taking 1 kg mineral A and I'm getting 1 kg mineral B. How much I got? I have taken 1 kg of mineral A. I have taken 1 kg of mineral B. Both the mineral are of what? Of iron. Okay. Now what I have done? I have done all the process. Every process. One process will come. I have cleaned it, I have processed it, everything processed. Final ore, final iron I got from 1 kg. See, I have taken 1 kg mineral A. I have taken 1 kg mineral B. And I am now doing the process. Process of what? Process of getting pure iron. Process of getting what? Pure iron. So, when I have done the process on A to get the pure iron, so from 1 kg, I got pure iron 200 gram. I got how many gram? 200 gram. Remaining 800 gram was the waste. Remaining 800 gram was the waste. Waste will come, and that waste we say as a gang. I will tell just now, okay? So don't worry about it. So I taken 1 kg of mineral A. I taken 1 kg of mineral B. These both the minerals are of iron. Now what I have done? I have taken the 1 kg A and I have done all the process. What kind of process? The process to obtain the pure iron. After doing the whole process of getting the pure iron, so from 1 kg of A, I got 200 gram pure iron. 200 gram of pure iron. Similarly, that same process I will do on this mineral B also. So when I do the process on mineral B to obtain the pure iron, and I got the pure iron from mineral B as 800 gram. Yes or no? So see, I was having two mineral A was having, and I also have a mineral B. Both have taken initially how much kg? 1 kg, 1 kg. On both I have done the process. I have done the process of A also to obtain the pure iron, and I have done the process on B also to obtain the pure iron. From mineral A, I got pure iron 200 gram. On mineral B, I got the pure iron 800 gram. Now if you are the businessman, which process you will, which mineral you will select, A or B? B. So B is my ore and A is my mineral. Yes or no? So ore says what? The profitable extraction. See here, profitable is, you know, I will get more iron. Mineral A is there, mineral B is there. So now mineral B is not a, it's an ore now. Because ore says what? The profitable extraction of metal from the mineral. I have taken A, I have taken B. These both I obtained from the earth crust. So we say both are mineral. We say both are mineral. I have done the process. I have taken 1 kg here also. I have taken 1 kg. I have done the same process on A also. I have done the same process on B also. After the completion of process, I got 200 gram pure iron from A and I got 800 gram from B. So this is my now ore. But this is also mineral also. But this cannot be ore. Why this cannot be ore? Because this is only mineral. Because it is not giving profitable extraction. But this is giving profitable extraction. So which is the ore now? So B will be my ore. Another example of zinc we will take. I'll take some example of zinc. So if I take the example of zinc, again I am getting 1 kg of ore of A of zinc and 1 kg mineral of zinc B. I am getting 1 kg mineral A of zinc, 1 kg mineral B of zinc. I will do the process. All the process I will do on A also, on B also. After completion of whole process, I got 200 gram of zinc from A, pure zinc, and here I got 600 gram of pure zinc. So where I am getting more? So mineral B I am getting more, yes or no? Because it is 600 gram. So this is now what? This is ore and this is his mineral. So what do you mean by ore? Ore means the profitable extraction, the more amount of metal from which mineral we can obtain, that is known as an ore. So this is the exact book definition. The profitable means more. The profitable extraction of metal from mineral is called as ore. Now see here, this can be mineral or not. These both are mineral because this both I obtain from where? Earth crust. So both are mineral. A is also, B is also mineral, A is also mineral, but B is also ore. But A is not a ore. Why A is not a ore? Because A is not given profitable extraction. B is giving profitable extraction. So B is ore also and B is mineral also. A is only mineral. So what does this say? This says that an ore can be a mineral. Yes or no? See here. What I can say here, make a note. An ore can be a mineral. Ore can be a mineral, but mineral cannot be ore. Mineral cannot be ore. Yes or no? Understand this definition. What does this say? See here, A is also mineral, B is also mineral, because from both I obtained from the earth crust. The earth crust means mineral. A I got 200 gram, B I got 600 gram. So from B I got profitable extraction. So B is now my ore. Because ore says what? The profitable extraction of metal from the mineral is called as ore. So B is ore also, B is mineral also, because it is also from the earth crust. A is only mineral, it's not an ore. Why A is not an ore? Because here we don't get profitable extraction. So I can say that an ore can be called as a mineral, an ore can be a mineral, or ore can be a mineral, or mineral can be a ore? No, mineral cannot be a ore. So I can say that ore can be called as a mineral, but mineral cannot be called as a ore. So every ore is a mineral, but every mineral cannot be ore. Yes or no? Every ore can be a mineral, because that is also from the earth crust. But every mineral cannot be a ore, because every mineral will not give a profitable extraction. The mineral which give profitable extraction, that is only going to say ore. So every ore can be called as a mineral, but every mineral cannot be called as a ore. So understand this definition, that ore can be a mineral, but a mineral cannot be all mineral cannot be ore. Yes or no? But all ore can be a mineral. All ore can be a mineral. Clear? Now see here. Clear this part? So understood definition. Mineral definition means what? The natural substance occurring from the earth crust obtained by the mining is called mineral. And ore means what? The profitable extraction of metal from the mineral is called as a ore. Next come gangue or matrix. What do you mean by gangue or matrix? Now see, when you are digging the earth crust, so you will obtain just mineral, but with mineral many other things also will come, like roots of trees, like you can get you will get a sand. Yes or no? Then you will get some certain type of bones, remainings of the plants, remaining of the animals. So these all things you have to clear it, you have to wash it. Okay, so that unwanted particles, yes or no, these all are impurities, I mean to say that unwanted particles or all the impurities which is associated with the ore is called as a gangue. It's not gangue, it's gang. Okay, don't pronounce it gangue. The spelling is Gangue, but the pronunciation is gang. So it is gangue or matrix. So what do you mean by gangue or matrix? The unwanted particle associated with ore is called as gangue. Or another name is matrix. Another name is what? Matrix. Yes or no? See, for example, you are washing the clothes, no? So cloth is your ore, but the dirt, yes or no, the stains which is associated with your cloth, that is gangue. Now what you are doing? You are applying the soap. So when you apply the soap and when you wash it, every impurities will be removed. So that impurities which are removed, yes or no, that impurities which are removed, we say as a gangue. So similarly, when you are digging from the earth crust, the mineral, the ore, so from that mineral and that ore, there are certain impurities, dissolved impurities, undissolved impurities also there. I will discuss later on. But the impurities, or we can say unwanted particles like clay, earth particles, clay particles, certain roots will be there, certain bones will be there, certain unwanted particles will be there. Okay, moisture, this everything are associated with the what? Associated with the ore, that portion we say as a gangue. So what do you mean by gangue or matrix? The unwanted particle associated with the ore is called as a gangue or matrix. The unwanted particles or unwanted impurities associated means what? Joined with what? Joined with ore is called as a gangue or matrix. I told you an example. For example, if you are having a cloth and that cloth, if you are having any dirt is there, any stain is there, so when you wash that cloth, the cloth remain as it is a clean, but that dirt, that stain, everything is removed. So that dirt and stain itself is as a what? Gangue. Here we are saying the gangue. So gangue or matrix. What do you mean by matrix or gangue? The unwanted particles, earthy impurities, or we can say roots, or we can say bones, which are associated with what? Associated with the ore is called gangue or matrix. Here the impurities will be dissolved also, and here the impurity will be undissolved also. So you have to clean this, you have to do many process here. We are going to study in detail the process this. But just now to understand the definition, please understand that what do you mean by gangue or matrix? They are the unwanted particles which is associated with the ore is called as a gangue. That particles can be clay, sand, stones, dust, bones, or remains of plants or remains of animals, etc. Clear this part? Next, metallurgy. Now final step, this metallurgy. What do you mean metallurgy? Metallurgy means the whole process to obtain the pure metal from the ore. The whole process to obtain the pure metal from the ore. So from the ore directly we cannot obtain the pure metal, okay? From the ore we have to do number of process. That number of process what we are doing to obtain the pure metal from the ore, that process itself is as a metallurgy. What do you mean metallurgy? The whole process to obtain the pure metal from ores using the scientific and industrial method. I told you, no, from the, it is not like that, okay, taken the ore, clean it, we got the metal. No, there are number of process which you have to go through it. Yes or no? So number of process, and on that number of process, number of methods are applied. Like scientific method also will apply, will apply chemistry method also, will apply industrial method also. So that all methods which you are applying to obtain the pure metal from the ores is known as a what? Metallurgy. So write down the definition. The metallurgy means what? The whole process to obtain the pure metal from ore using the scientific and industrial method is called as a metallurgy. Okay, it's not a one-day process or 2-hour process, a very long process. It requires a big plants. Okay, you can see, you know, there are certain plants are also there. Okay, we are having the iron plants. Okay, that you know, blast furnace, we are obtaining the iron. They are having a big plants in a kilometers of industries we have. So it's not a one-day process. Okay, so what do you mean by metallurgy? A metallurgy means it's a whole process or to obtain the pure metal from the ores by supplying or by applying certain scientific methods, certain chemical methods, certain industrial methods. That whole process to obtain the pure metal from the ores, that process which we are undergoing, that process is known as a what? Metallurgy. Clear this part? So this chapter, it's a basic to you. It's a very interesting chapter. Please copy out this old definition. In the next class, I will go in detail that what are the steps involved in the metallurgy, which are their steps and how to remember their steps. And you are very, I think you know these steps, you know, a flotation process, magnetic separation, then one more we have, I guess, leaching method. This everything I guess we have done in the standard 10 also. So do not worry about this. This chapter is very extremely easy, but certain questions are there. Sometimes it makes this chapter tough. So this chapter is a bit theoretically, so you have to read the textbook more and more. So today whatever I have told you, please you write down this portion and starts to study the textbook and plus the competition exam which I have given to you. So study line to line, and if you have any doubt you can come at me. Okay. So I hope this all the definitions of mineral, ore, gangue and metallurgy you have understood. See, once more I will repeat. Mineral. Mineral means what? The natural substance occurring from the earth crust through the mining is known as a mineral. Then comes what? Ore. Ore means what? The profitable extraction of metal from the mineral is known as a ore. The profitable extraction of metal from the mineral is called as a ore. So an ore can be a mineral, but every mineral cannot be a ore. Okay. Next is gangue or matrix. The unwanted particles or earthy impurities or impurities which are involved or associated with the ore is called gangue or matrix. Please do not pronounce as gangue. It's gangue. Next is metallurgy. Metallurgy means what? The whole process to obtain the pure metal from the ore. So number of process we are going and number of methods we are applying, like scientific method, then we can say like industrial method, we can say chemical method. These all methods we are applying it to obtain the pure metal from the ores, and that process itself is as a metallurgy. So please read it your textbook and write it down. Okay. Anyhow, thank you.